Do it again. What's up, guys? Casey
And now
Santana with a
start
Rich
us off.
Soil podcast. We got another episode for you guys. We started recording at 333, so it's gonna be a good one. Welcome, Amber and Megan. They are the ladies from the Cannabis Unearthed podcast. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
for
having
having
us.
us.
Yes,
We're
I
gonna interrupt each other this whole time, so
That's a well, we're all moms, so we're all used to it. But yeah,
what?
we're excited. I'm excited to have you guys on here. I had the pleasure of being on your podcast. I think both of us women, set you guys as a whole and me, we believe in pumping each other up and not having the competition there. So I love that you guys have your podcast. You guys are kicking ass doing that. Congratulations on your 1 year. You guys bring on amazing guests. So congratulations to you guys. And I love that you
Thank
guys
you.
are about educating and bringing on moms as well. And I think that is really huge when we talk about breaking the stigma. So welcome, welcome,
Absolutely.
welcome.
So
Yeah.
much.
You were there killing them bowls. What are you
I forgot my
smoking on?
cup.
I don't have one today. I just have dabs. Dabs and
Dabs
more
and
I
more.
got
dabs.
some purple herb right now. I don't even know what it's called, but it's
It's
so
very
good.
purple.
It is so pretty.
It's sitting next to my very green.
It's a who needs Christmas trees?
I know.
Yeah.
Look behind
Oh
us.
my gosh, I just saw this.
Amber decorated. I came in today and it looks like a whole new
I love
room in here.
that. If
It's
if I were to ask, like,
yeah, you
between you
gotta
two,
add
are you
some
more like,
spice.
oh, absolutely. I'm all, like I said, already wearing like my festive shit. It's this Frosty Bowls. I wear it to the gym, and I love the questions that I get. It's like you get the eye.
It's super cute. You said you make those, right?
Yeah, so I bring them out during the holidays. They're just novelty sweatshirts. So we have different ones with like the Grinch hand, it's holding a blunt. This one we just created a bowl. I love my bongs. I know you girls love your bongs. And it just says Frosty Bowls. I think we
Yeah.
have another one with like just 3 leaves.
Yeah.
It's like leopard and just as like litmus. Yeah, I have them on my website, but they are like on
I was
demand.
gonna say
You just have to let me know, and then we push them out.
that is amazing. I want one. I just was like, I was gonna say, I hate the cold weather, but I love like the cold bongs in the wintertime.
Oh, it's so
It
nice.
is. It is.
You don't
Yeah.
even have to put ice in it. They're just automatically cold when you
Yes.
wake up in the morning.
I know. Now it made me want to go get a nice icy bong.
Right? I
This
know.
one's not very cold. I was like
I was
cuddling
gonna say,
it prior to the episode.
it looks cold, or is that just from the smoke that you just hit?
Oh, it's still got a little bit of.
Hear
Yeah,
that
the song is
shit.
on, so
Just
it's my
kidding.
I know.
I
Nice.
know.
Nice.
I set it down
Is
too
that your
fast.
glass warehouse piece? That thing's a beast. I hit that when I was there.
That's Amber's piece. I left all of mine at home. I was having a lazy day.
I
We've
know.
never, and this is actually the first time we've done a Zoom on someone else's. We've done another podcast before, but it was in person. So this
Yeah.
is new for us. And I felt like I could be a little bit lazier today because,
It's
Same.
chill. It's
I
Rich
was like,
Soil
I got my
podcast.
panda socks on.
Ooh, I wish I had
I
socks
love
on. My
it.
feet are freezing. I was late, so I couldn't grab socks, to be honest. But
Oh no,
I'm
go get some socks. We will pause for that.
all right. I didn't bring a bong this time. Today, I am using papers from OCB. They were a sponsor for Emerald Cup, and they gifted us this super nice
Ooh.
box. Show you guys. And it's filled with a bunch of goodies,
Oh, awesome.
little tray, bunch of different types of
I love that.
OCB papers. So shout out to OCB. You guys are great, and I love
And
that.
those are also like the bleach-free ones, right?
Yeah, they have all types of different shit.
Yeah.
And like had little roller sets. I've always rolled my own joints. So having these like prepped already, ready to go in the box, I think they're like we're spoiled nowadays compared to back in the days, because I'm pretty sure you guys on the same boat where
Oh,
we
for
roll
sure.
our own shit. I actually like rolling. Do you guys like
It
rolling?
is amazing, yes.
Right? Yeah, it's so
Were you the person that rolled like for your friend group? Were you like the blunt or the
only
joint
yeah.
roller?
Yeah, I'm the only one that brought all the shit. You know what I mean? Like I had all the fucking knickknacks. I had the bag, and I also was the one that drove.
The
Like
backpack full of
I'm
goodies.
I'm already aging myself. Yeah, I started smoking at 16, so obviously had my shit together, and I was the one that had the car, and I was also working, so I was able to pick up good weed, and all the homies were the plugs for the city, so easy weed access for me. But yeah, I was basically the one that's
Absolutely.
like, try this. Yeah, it's
And
always
being a beautiful girl who smokes, it's like those you know what I mean? Those nice privileges also, because people just want to, smoke with you and like enjoy, and you're great to talk to. I'm not going to say that, but you're beautiful, and so it's always nice
you.
to,
Likewise,
get
likewise.
to puff with pretty people who are nice to
It
conversate
helps,
with.
right?
And
It helps being it
yeah,
helps. But
it
I think
does.
we do our best to keep ourselves up to par, especially as women. It takes a lot, we put in the work to present ourselves the way we want to. And it depends how we feel too, a lot of times.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, now that we're married with kids, we're just like, I don't even want to talk to dudes. None of that. I just like get
Don't look at
away.
me. Don't
And
fucking look at
I
me.
like my girls. I love being around, yeah, like women who are just motivating and want to teach and, spread that knowledge. And I think that's what it's about, especially as we get older. Time just is too short to not cherish
Yes.
those little things.
Absolutely. On that note, just so that we don't start going on major tangents, I want to
Yes.
say
You're
that
talking to me.
no, I will start. We will like be on here and it'd be like, did they like we just had our own casual conversation. We had a straight
No, yes.
and that's
Yes.
the best way I think people can absorb.
Someone keep us on track.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll what the main deal here is we just educate people, and I think the best way to do that is being organic and ourselves, and they can decide for themselves what they want to take as value as from our lifestyle. I know you are very
Absolutely.
active. I fucking love your videos because not only are you active, but you also make it fun and like you're entertaining with your reels, and I love that
Yeah.
about you. And then Megan, you're busy out in the industry. I saw you did a beach cleanup for a dispensary. You're always out there giving back, and just you guys are both very well put together when you guys are advocating for the plant. And I love that, especially because you guys are moms as well. And so tell me a little bit about what you guys got going on and what you guys just had recently, because I know you guys also do events, or at least did one recently.
You want to talk about our event,
yes.
and then I'll tell them about the industry?
Yeah,
While I do this.
absolutely. Yeah, we had the women's cannabis event in LA in the Art District, thanks to Stealthy. And we had Chef Riot come out and did a hibachi style dinner.
A fire show.
Yeah, fire show.
He lit Amber's bong for her with the fire from the fire show. So it was pretty cool. We had some really amazing women that came out. Amber put her all into the decorating. It was beautifully set up. So she really killed it and worked really hard to get, a lot of that stuff put together for us.
It's all about the details, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like a learning kind of cannabis cutie. Tammy came and did like a really great education panel, and we made crystal rings and we wrote letters to our future selves. So I have those letters, so I get to send them out whenever I feel like they're ready to be sent. So I'm going to do that, as time goes on. They won't know when, but they'll get those letters back and to see how far they've grown, which is a great exercise, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. I'm glad that we did that. You came up with like strains to match the crystal colors. Like she made these cute little charts and everything. So it was
I love
Amber?
Crystals, and I think
really
we all
cool.
are energy, right? So everything is energy, and combining all of it is just so incredible to me. It's fascinating, the science behind it. I'm just constantly wanting to know more and more and more. So
Totally.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What is your background? I guess we could just ask both. What's your I'm curious, like what ignites you to be, because everybody hosts events in different way and everybody has skills in different things. For me, when I host events, I am that person. Like I love themes. I love trying to make it as decorative as possible, like giving that experience, not just like, setting a bunch of tables and weed on all the table. We all love weed. So what's your background? I guess
so for me, I've always had a job. As a little kid, I would hustle like in front of the realtors, like open houses. I would have little lemonade sales and make my money and go buy my fake nails, and do those little things for myself. So I always relied on myself. And then when you asked me about the mentor before, I got kind of like, who's my mentor? I've always just really counted on myself. So yeah, customer service is always, it's a big thing for me. I've always been in the front as a receptionist at a hair salon. I've managed a financial firm for the last 18 years. Got my license for selling insurance. I'm a people person. I want to help. And I'm especially love like older people. They're just adorable, and hearing their stories. And so yeah, I'm a sucker for customer service and giving people an experience, which I will keep saying is lacking nowadays. I feel like an old, granny saying that, but I'm like, where's the customer service? Like, I feel like it's so important and it's so missing, and that's really what drives me. Like, what do I want to see, or what would I want to experience, along with what else I've learned. So, yeah, it's a customer service drive, I think.
When you come from customer service, it's more like to our eye, like it like stands out more if someone's really giving service, or if they're just trying to like, hit that number and that sale over the actual
Yes.
service. So I
Yes.
totally get that from you. Even when I met you, you're like this fun, energetic light, and I can tell you also have a business side to you. So I love that about you. Megan,
Thank you.
Background, how'd you get here?
I have to put the piece down and not smoke. I cleared it. You're welcome to hit it if you'd
I'm
like.
good right now.
I was like, I just put some rosin in there. It's pretty good. So I've been in the industry here in California since 2017. Prior to that, I mean, I've sold weed since I was 16. I was, the girl with the weed in high school. I found out that's a pretty steady rumor. I've seen a lot of people recently that I haven't seen for the last 20 years, and I've just been talking to them and chatting with them, and I ask what they remember, and they're like, "You always had the party. You were wild." Someone recently was like, "Wow, you're like," they called me healed. It was a guy, and he used the word healed. He's like, "I didn't realize you were so healed," and that meant a lot because I was very wild. I sold a lot of weed, and I was kind of crazy. And then I toned that down. I used this medically when I was in Colorado prior to moving back here in 2017. I started using cannabis to fix myself medically and get myself off of prescriptions that doctors had put me on. So it kind of pushed me into that, and moving back out here, the pressure to get in shape and go out into the sunshine and feel comfortable in your skin. And not that I sell this product, but I started doing a Herbalife program with workouts mixed with cannabis, and that just seemed to be the key for me. So I decided that was going to launch me into working in the industry. I got my first job doing brand ambassador work and continued on. I worked in cannabis packaging. I've worked in a lab environment. I've done everything from consulting to delivery driver, running a shop, Greenlit Farms, for 4 years. We still are, I'm helping with their cultivation still to date. And then I just kind of have pushed more into the event side of things, social media and marketing. When I started presenting myself as a brand ambassador in 2017, I realized that there is a huge part of the industry that really needs a voice, and that's women and moms and, the people who have been really stigmatized when using this plant instead of choosing to drink or take pills. It was much more normalized for me to be a mom who took prescriptions at night than it was to be a mom who used cannabis products at night. So I just really wanted to, I guess, give it back to the plant, since I was able to lose 100 pounds and change my health. And, coming back here, I started venturing out and meeting other moms and doing workouts. And that led to me being in a cannabis moms group where Amber and I both ended up taking photos together in a cemetery. I had just gotten myself in shape. I had a corset on. We had snakes. We had blunts. It was great. She almost didn't go to the event at all.
I'm such a homebody. So
I
just, it felt like, yeah, that's where we met. And we had the idea for the podcast almost right away. Within like the month of us meeting, I was like, we should do a podcast. Just our chemistry, the way we like talked to each other.
TikTok, you understand social media. I love it.
I was like,
too,
oh my gosh, let's do this. Let's make videos together.
Not like that.
not like that, but it took us about a year. Like, we tried to record an episode, which we've recently looked at, and it's just like god awful. Like us not really knowing what we're doing at all, sitting and just talking. There's of course somebody calling. I had do not disturb on the phone. But just we took about a year to kind of think more about what we were really going to do and what we were going to talk about, and then launched it. Now it's another whole year later, and friendship's grown, and the podcast has grown, and I've continued on with social media and marketing. I've helped a few companies along the way. Landed the dream job about a month ago. Started talking to the Higher Path and the Green Room and the Other Path out in Sherman Oaks, and very happy to be helping them now. And the team there is amazing. I've never felt such warmth from a cannabis company in my life. It's honestly been like a shock. I've called Amber a few times, like, I don't know if this is like a cult or something, but these people are just genuinely good people. They're so nice.
You deserve it.
And
last job was like,
anybody who's worked in this industry knows that like it's hit or miss. You either find a really, really great company that's about the culture and that has genuinely good employees that care about the company, or you find the opposite. And I've sadly seen all sides of it. I was very lucky at Greenlit. I had a lot of amazing people that I still consider family that, we still talk and we still do things together and we still do business together. I was lucky to find that. So to find that with this new shop and to be able to help doing all the events, working with a social media manager there that I really enjoy working with. She's been very awesome and very welcoming, not at all offended that I'm coming in there. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to step on toes. It's been really nice. Everyone's been really open. So so I am there now. And it's been great. And I'm hoping that next year we're going to have even more events and lots of focus on women's events, which is really cool.
Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere. I love that you're seeing diversity in the types of events, meaning like I said earlier, you're not seeing like the swap meet style events anymore. You're seeing like what you guys did. It's very intimate. There's a lot of thought being put behind it, and there's nothing more than the experience that people want to have when they're going to these events, because they can get repetitive. You may be going to see the same people every time, but what you guys are doing, going the extra mile to get somebody to do a hibachi style was it infused or just dinner?
Yeah.
I thought I saw that. That's crazy. Like
chocolate truffle mushrooms. Yeah
You guys had flour.
It's just being able to and being able to do that for other moms, because I feel like it's such a hidden part of my life to keep my career, and to have the stigma behind it, unfortunately. But I wasn't helping by hiding. So when it did become legal, I was like, you know what? I this is who I am. I've proven myself who I am as a mom, which I don't need to do anyways. But I know what I do and bring to the table, and it's going to be amazing. Just myself infused and elevated in that way, to think out of the box and jump into that and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think some people underestimate the women that are in the industry, or specifically in the space, because we're grown-ass women. We're not little girls that just happen to be smoking weed. It's been part of our life, and most of us have some sort of background and career, whether it's in a professional corporate world or whether it's managing dispensaries or cultivation centers. I think the backside of the cannabis industry, like the greenhouses, the trimmers, they don't get so much light, and there's a lot of women in those space. But a lot of us are moms, a lot of us are caring for families, and so this is very much part of our life. It's not just like a fucking side hobby that I think like my mom kind of still sees it that way. I think what we're doing as grown women, the way we carry ourselves, the way we present ourselves, the way we feel about the plant is what's going to make other people maybe consider the plant as medicine. Like you said, it was okay to take pills all day long. And that's kind of like what I feel they're molded to. And I use my mom as an example. Shout out to you, Mom, if you're ever watching my show. I love you. I don't mean any harm, but plant medicine is definitely better than the But they're so like, she comes from El Salvador. Yes. She doesn't know any better. When she comes here, she's like, well, that's what my doctor gave me. That's what my doctor told me. So even though I'm her daughter, I have my lifestyle is the way it is. I'm like athletic. I go out, I compete. I've done mixed martial arts. It's never hindered me in that way, but she still to like get rid of the pills, get rid of the tobacco, and really lean in on this is medicine is like it's not even gonna happen any fucking
It's really life-changing.
It is, and that's why I do.
You know, to lose, I lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was just due to you know, changing what I was doing. Instead of taking pills, which brought me down and honestly caused me more pain, I took cannabis, which made me more mobile. I was able to be in a better mood. My family saw a change in my mood. So it was always worth it. And the better I felt, the more I wanted to go out in the world and advocate. And it's led to so many doors opening in this industry for me, and us being able to interview and have people on our show that we really respect. We're getting to work with people, you know, that are super influential in our lives. And so it's been a blessing.
Yeah,
I'm very grateful.
And I'm not in the industry. I mean, besides doing this and my part in the industry and like working wise, you know, I've been in just a few dispensaries because, you know, it's the legacy part of it that I have grown up with. That's just something I'm connected to.
Right.
And grateful to have around, I'm sure you know. But like, yeah, it's fascinating to see the changes. It's such a rapid growth, and to think and innovate in a different way and have this platform.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know, is just to have that voice, and we all have, you know, what we say does matter.
Yeah.
No matter where you're from or what you have or you've been through, you know, it's so impactful to see like just everyone gather and have, again, the community is what it really is about.
Yeah, and it's so diverse, you know, like everybody that has a podcast, everybody's doing different things. We may be talking about similar things, but everybody has a different approach. Everybody has a different style. And I think that's important when we're talking about making a reach to the mainstream and the audience really absorbing our content, because then maybe, like you said, my mom may not watch this show, or, you know, I have somebody older who's coming from.
I hope she does.
Please, right. She comes from Puerto Rico, kind of the same background as my mom. She's in her 60s. She kind of goes into her story about using, or was given, a lot of medication and pills, and she kind of like winged herself off and now is, you know, purely on cannabis. She actually dabs now, which was crazy to see. I was like, oh, you're a dabber. What the fuck?
Yay.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I hope my mom sees that. So things like that. It's like, press it so much, but I think we have to almost leave it up to them to be kind of curious and like let them absorb it in their way. And I think the way we do it, having just like open conversations, not like so much in an interview style. Hopefully it reaches somebody, and it's just helping one person every day. So on that note,
I have a little sign that says "Be your own healer." You know, and you really, that's when you have to really listen to yourself and say, you know what, I need to change something. What is it going to be? Look at all perspectives, you know. So anyway, that's.
Oh, I love that.
Be your own healer. Advocate for yourself, and don't just listen to one doctor. You know, get second opinions, third opinions if you need to, because if you're relying on one opinion of one person who's probably been in medical school for maybe a day on that subject, let's try again, you know.
I almost had exploratory back surgery.
It's insane.
Like multiple times. They were just like, we're just going to do surgery and find out. Or maybe they should have just, you know, given me something other than pain pills right off the bat that made me assume that pain was there. It was tricking my brain. You know, whenever you try to stop taking them, the pain gets worse. And I didn't understand that.
Oh, yeah. After my C-section, I was just like pill popping. I was like, ooh. And then I was like, dude, I'm taking care of a newborn. Like, this is not okay.
Get to this.
You know, but I was like, and then after my next one, I was like barely, I didn't really want to take any, but I had to, you know, because I had a major surgery. So, but yeah, it was, the last one, I was really like, I ate my placenta. And I just literally like encapsulated it, you know. I went all out. I did all the herbal everything. So that was just a beautiful part, because I never got to have natural labor. And so I was like, I'm going to make it as best and beautiful as I can, without, you know, going through some trauma in my body, because the first baby was just terrible. You know, you're just like, and there's a lot of these stories out there, the childbirth and the trauma. And, you know, as women, we already go through enough without the fucking judgment of other women. And, you know, when you come from a good place, hopefully people can understand why we are so passionate about it. And it can change your life if you use it intentionally and in a positive way.
Absolutely. It was 32. I became pregnant and I started doing like just going down the rabbit hole of like YouTube videos and I guess like pieces on the articles, pieces on just Google or whatever. I came across the one in Jamaica where they had the studies of like the 25 women who were pregnant. Their kids came
Yes.
out like substantially a lot. And I never like looked at it in a educational way, I would say. Like I've always just smoked fucking weed, like good weed, grown my own weed, but I never like dived into the medicinal part, seeing how this would affect people, seeing like how the cancer patients would use it until I became pregnant. Then I went down the rabbit hole of articles after articles. Women, majority, a lot of them not from the Western world. A lot of them were from like Australia, like European, the ones that were like more about the holistic,
Yes.
natural birth, where there was tons of TED Talks that our society was molded and taught to not fucking go that route, specifically to push fucking Western medicine, pharmaceutical, and their agenda of fucking money at the end of the day. So that made me feel
it is all the money trail. My mom did. My mom smoked with me. She had hypermesis, or I can't ever say this word, but it's where she was just constantly nauseated. So she would smoke, and she's told me about it, and when she caught me smoking, she, had the whole talk with me and everything else. She found my whole sandwich in the fridge, like the plate, and I was just making a sandwich in the fridge, and she's like, all right,
I think I smoked through half my pregnancies.
Yeah,
I made it easier.
I've smoked with all my pregnancies. My first one, I was younger. I wasn't as, I didn't feel I was as vocal,
Same.
I didn't really stand up for myself and advocate for myself. So you have a great vantage. You were a little, you were ready to go. Like, you're like, let me go down and learn what I can, and that's amazing because I didn't do that. And then I learned.
Neither did I on my first one.
Yeah, I've been taken away from my parents. I've been in a group home as a teenager. I didn't want that to happen to my baby. I'm a little traumatized. I'm not going to lie, So like during the last month, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to, keep everything straight. Like I don't want to risk that for my kids.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that about you too. No, I love that you're, like I said, when I first met you, I've only been in your like space in person that one time, but you have really positive energy that spews out of you. And I really love that. And I think that's what makes you guys like very balanced. It's like a yin and yang is the energy that I get from watching you guys. Megan is like as chill as a fucking cucumber.
Yes.
I think that's what makes you guys.
I know we're so opposite. It's great.
I had another women on just recently, and they've been working together for a decade, and I sensed the same thing from them. One was really high energy, really goofy, really fun. They have to have that like funniness all the time, where one's just like business.
When I'm by myself, I have to carry her energy with me when I like go and do things on my own. So
that's good.
Yes, you got this though. Like, what would Amber do? And I was like, oh yeah, what would Megan do?
Yeah. Right. Well, I think
it's a great balance. It's fun.
Yeah, and plus when you're around people, they always say that whoever you're around is technically your environment is who you become and who you are. So I always take the good from everybody that I want, and I'll leave the bad aside. Everybody has their good and the bad, so we just gotta flow with what works for you. On that note, I know you guys are active for the most part. You talked about some weight loss recently or in your journey of this cannabis time frame for you, Megan. And I know Missy here just be killing it on the reels with your weightlifting, some of your aerobic moves.
Oh, yes.
And some really good songs for the most part when you put them on. What is your guys' morning routine like? Is that something more like working out? Are you guys more of like the yogi meditative type? I know for me, like I have like a very specified, like I have 12 minutes to do this, I have 10 minutes to do this, I have 45 minutes to this, and then it's absolutely mom life, like just starts, only because my kids are under 5, so 2 under 5, where obviously your kids are older, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank God. I went when I was working 8 to 5. I work from home now for the last 2 years, so it's like I haven't woken up from an alarm in so long. It's been great. I have an internal alarm. I'm up at 5:30, 5 a.m. anyway. I need to be up early and like watch the sunrise and sunrise. I was going to say sunset.
No, that's me.
Take another one. But I like to just like make my coffee and like check my plant. I don't know. I just have like,
I've seen her morning routine. She does the same shit. She has her little bathrobe and
yeah, I
comes
just
out
like
here
to
and
go
has her coffee and smokes
smoke.
and then does
Yeah.
her workouts and her vibration plate. And
It's
me, I work in the evenings a lot of the time because I'm doing events. So I'm gone. I come home at like 10 or 11, sometimes later. Yeah, so I'm a much later in life right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to stay this type of schedule, but right now this is currently I've done 4 a.m. types of stuff where I'm like up super early. Right now it's a little different. I try to have me time in the morning, smoke and have coffee. I'm very lucky. I usually get breakfast in bed. I'm kind of spoiled when it comes to that.
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
I always tell you, don't expect none of that shit here. You got to get it yourself. Cause
You still would bring me a plate of food.
I do. I'm nice sometimes.
Are
Like,
you
but
domesticated? Are you guys domesticated? Can we talk? Can we go down that route? I'm domesticated. I always say I'm a highly domesticated.
I'm absolutely domesticated.
I'm very
Yes,
domesticated.
I'm very. Yeah, absolutely.
Am I domesticated?
You are not domesticated.
Some of my friends would say the
I
same.
was for a long time.
No, I'm just kidding. I think you're breaking a mold that's great. What works for you, and that's why I love it because like
I was a stay-at-home
Yeah.
mom and I lost myself when I was there because it was very overwhelming. I have a lot of kids, a lot of different personalities. I raise other people's kids as my own kids. We have a big blended family, and I stayed home for a long time, and I got to a point where I just wanted. There's just so many things that I wanted to achieve. So I like being out and being able to do those things. And luckily, I have family support for that. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gone a lot, but I mean, my kids are old enough at this point where they have someone making them dinner at home. So we just, operate. My husband gets to stay home and focus on the kids now. He worked a really hard job for a very long time in his life. One of the hardest workers I know. So him being able to like make dinner and like pick the kids up from school while I go out and chase my dreams is a blessing.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just listened to something. I don't know if you guys follow the Hermosis. They're a power couple, but they're both entrepreneurs, huge in the industry as far as marketing and like growing. Like they do a lot of real estate, open gyms, sell gyms. But they talk about that a lot of people like to give out like marriage advice and couple advice about like it's got to be this way, and you got to make sure that like once a week you do this and like this and that, and then like this and that, and it's like that works for you. That does not work for our dynamic.
There shouldn't be any rules to marriage.
Like that doesn't work for me. So for me, like I think what you're doing works for you guys, and as long as like you guys are happy as a tribe, that's what matters. Like your kids are thriving and you're happy as people, as humans, and your spirits are like flourishing. That's all that matters. Growing in life is what it's about.
Yeah.
And togetherness. I think it's
it's the fact that we've gone through a lot of periods together, and so there's periods where I've stayed home and he's worked and been gone for 60-hour weeks, and then there's been periods where I'm doing that and he's getting to spend time at home. So it works for us. This is I get to do all these things that I want to do and host these events and be around people that I enjoy being around. So now, now we have a place, like a venue, and it's a very warm and inviting building. There's a fireplace in there. We have comedy. We have paint nights. We have, burlesque classes coming this month. Long burlesque.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
But being a mom is tough, and we just got to get through every day. It's always a new, and I like new shit, so I get bored very easy. I am a Sagittarius, so let's. We gotta just.
No, I'm learning.
Every day. It's so weird.
You guys
enjoy this age because then they become teenagers.
Yeah,
and that's just a whole other game. I realized why my kid called because I turned their like screen time off on all their phones so that they would clean up, and that's her calling an hour ago to ask me to turn it back on so she can sit a little bit longer. Whoops.
Sit there and think about it.
Oh yeah,
how was it like in our days?
Let that
should have had it done before I left.
Exactly. That's what my dad said. Marinate, and you're not getting the phone for the week.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys hide your cannabis or weed?
No,
okay,
absolutely not. My We've been honest about it since we were in Colorado because there was billboards and it was, recreational out there. There was a lot of advertisement in the city right next to where we lived, so my kids saw that all the time. And there became a point, I'm not going to hide it and be ashamed of it.
Yeah, it's part of our life. I feel like I have a whole room dedicated to like my little smoke sesh area. Like we all deserve, like they have their own play area with all their, homeschool stuff and toys and stuff. So it's like,
Story.
this is my area,
Yeah.
that's your area.
I have one specific area that I smoke in. The rest of the house is smoke free. I have my one little room.
Thing,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's it, And so they've been respectful for the most part. We've had a few instances. They are teenagers and their friends are also, influential in decisions. But for the most part, they've been respectful of my rules.
My parents didn't really talk to me about it. It was very hidden. They called it happy birthday. They smoked. Such a weird thing.
Where
like, you
are your
smoke
parents?
some happy birthday. Anyway, so
Are you
so in Dare, they were telling us about drugs. Yeah.
okay?
And in Dare time, they were teaching about drugs, and everyone's like, my dad does that. My mom kind of hid it a little bit better. But then they came to raid our house pretty shortly after that. So I'm going to attribute it to that in my big mouth. So I think being open and honest with your kids, how it's not like a dangerous thing.
Amber.
Yeah. You got to be open with her about it, I think, because nowadays I feel like it's a lot more. This is the 80s, where the crack epidemic was and the weed, they wanted to bust anybody and everything else. So yeah, we had our house constantly raided because
I think we're getting to a new place.
Yeah.
I told you I handed a blunt to a cop the other day.
You did.
So, yeah, that was interesting.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's so funny. Yeah. So I recently ran into at the gym, I wear I think it was one of my other sweatshirts that said, all I want for Christmas is weed. I bought it years ago from Blunt Blowing Mama, I think it was her name. But it's one of those shirts, like like a sweater. So I've been wearing it lately, and the girl that was working out next to me happened to have her like Rancho Cucamonga Sheriff's shirt on, and I was like, oh, it'd be great to get a picture with her, like me with my weed shirt, her with her sheriff shirt. But like, I feel like it's like, I don't know if she's there yet, but I was like, that's where my mind, I was telling my husband, that's where my mind was. He's like, this is what you're thinking about the whole time you're at the gym. I'm like, yeah, I saw her with her shirt, and like my mind was like, I wonder, like, that's how much when I say like I'm an advocate, I live and breathe what we do. Like everywhere I go, I wear shit purposely like this. So someone either asks me or is curious. I know I'm going to get side-eyed already. Like that's a natural thing that happens, but I get that no matter what anyways. So let me just add some weed to it, and then I get the extra eyes, and then there's some that are curious, and then it allows me to have conversations to educate people. I had like a whole 20-minute thing with this guy at the front of 24 Hour Fitness because he's young, and he was asking about like stizzy pods versus flower, and I'm like, you're talking about two different fucking things right now. And so I have like,
can't compare those.
I thrive through. Yeah, no, I thrive on shit like that as advocates.
Yeah, at our old like retirement when I worked in the office, I would have I got a big bulk CBD for our retired clients, and I was educating and handing it out, being like, this is the benefits, put on your feet, it's like the biggest organ, if you have any kind of, and being able to openly, and they trust me, we have to make that connection and allow people to see that our true intentions are there to help, and not make someone become a druggie or whatever these stupid stigmas are, and it drives me crazy. And I wear my earrings, like I'm getting there about wearing stuff in public. I just don't want to draw more attention to myself, really. I just don't. I'm already I talk to everybody, and it's just, I don't know, for me it's just a weird, but I had my earrings on, and this guy, he's like, Canadian, eh? I said, no, look closer.
You're right.
He's like, oh, no wonder you got those snacks in your cart, That's right, And I was like, you got to go home and cook. I shouldn't have came here hungry because I had so much crap. I didn't realize. I was like, I got to get out of here. I have so much stuff in my
shop
cart
stoned either.
No. And, but it's fun. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm breaking out of my shell I didn't drive until I was 35.
Wow.
So I have like that freedom. It's like I want to just run naked in the woods now. I feel like that's my only thing left to do.
With your
I
earrings.
don't know.
With your earrings.
Yes,
With your
yes.
earrings on.
And socks.
Only the earrings.
And your
Thanks,
panda socks.
celestial butterflies.
And your panda socks.
Yes, yes. And my panda. Oh, that's a great visual, actually.
Right?
Oh my
I thought
God.
the same. You got it, Megan? Megan's the photographer. Shout out to Megan, right?
Oh yeah, I got the camera.
And the moon's in Gemini tomorrow.
I know. I'm
Yes.
hoping there's a reason. I feel like it's really going to bring some things full circle for me. So cross your fingers.
Okay, we got to put our
Moon is in
moon water
Gemini.
out there.
Coming home, baby. It's coming home.
Yes. Do
Water
you put your
needs to get out.
bongs? I have a lot of crystals surrounding my bongs and stuff, so I do like my bong water
Oh no,
changing and
that's
just
a good
really
idea.
taking in
Actually,
those intentions.
just put one out there with some
Yeah.
crystals in it. No, I got a few bongs. I got a
Yeah,
lot of
great.
bongs, like over a dozen bongs. I
Yeah.
should have had them all here, and then we could have like just had a whole bong party and just show how much we support Glass Warehouse for sure. Shout
I
out to
know.
Renee, because Renee does definitely
I know.
Yes.
Shout out to Renee,
A lot of women in the
Violet.
space.
I love all of you guys.
is Violet.
Yes, I know, she's amazing.
Because you guys had them on your podcast, right? Renee, and her sister or sister-in-law.
It was no, it was Renee and Violet. Violet's the manager of the Anaheim location, and the one that I met her before I met Renee. I met Renee at Violet's birthday party that we went to the comedy club.
It's all such a small world, you know, in the end of it. Like we all kind of know. I don't know. It's weird. Life's
It is
so
weird
how everything kind of comes into play at a certain time, you know?
Well, like, and we found out we've had guests on the show that like Amber like sat in her section at the Cannabis Cafe when it was open, and all kinds of weird stuff.
But I
think there's so
I
many
love it
diverse
how the
women.
connections are always like perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Weed
yes.
has
And I
brought
think now like the stigmas are being broken.
for sure. And I think everyone's just like right now, especially in today's world, I think especially during like holidays, women are just like, let's find who align better with one another and let's just put all of our differences aside and work together. I think in the beginning I was like, oh, women smoke weed, yeah, kumbaya, and then I realized like, oh my God, there's so many different personalities, that's not possible. So I think that now that I've been in it for like the past 4 years, you see the different people and you just got to find like who your tribe is. But there are amazing people out there, men and women. You know, there's a lot of shit that I hear sometimes where women are like, oh, there's, you know, too many men, or this, and this is why there's like women events only. I don't think that's why there's women events only. I think that women events only are particularly to target a particular audience. They have a different intention. It's not so much to pull away from men, because I have had an immense support for men in the industry. Do you guys feel the same?
Yeah.
Most of my events are co-ed.
I love that.
You know, everything that I'm doing right now at the Green Room has been co-ed. I have a burlesque class on the 16th. I have no issues if men or women come. But then I really like that we can have specialized events. I am looking at doing some drag shows coming up here, which will be really cool. You know, I'm very body positive, very human positive. I have had hate in the industry from both men and women.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of extra judgment from men, but I feel like that's kind of something that isn't industry specific, honestly. And that's okay.
Some guy just commented on my TikTok, our Cannabis Unearthed TikTok. He goes, "Oh, Susie Homemaker talking about terpenes," and then with the vomiting emoji, and I'm like,
okay,
wow. Did you want me to make you some crack? What would impress you? No, I'm kidding.
But no, I love the women's events that we host. But then again, I also have, you know, I'm doing 30 co-ed events in December, so. Pick and choose. Come and join us for any of those events where any gender is welcome.
But I like women events because then we can kind of be silly and goofy and be ourselves without
like
having
there's
to
moments
worry.
when it's good, and that it's very focused on women, talking about like how it affects menstruation, how it affects your body. Men don't really want to sit and hear that most of the time. But you know, it's okay to do those events. It's okay to have those moments. There's nothing wrong with focusing on women events. I actually have a whole series of them that I'm working on the calendar. So you are going to see those. You know, there's no problem with that. I think men should have their own events too, where
Yeah.
maybe they sit and actually talk about feelings would be a smart idea. I don't see any men doing anything like that.
Like
Why
Sweat
not?
Lodge. But that's what I said.
Yeah.
We feel like, as women, would we feel like, what the fuck? Men are having their own fucking thing. Like, I wonder
No.
if they realize that way. No, right? I think, there's men's group
But I'm
clubs
sure that there's a
have
lot of
always
people that would disagree
existed.
with me.
Right.
I just like,
There
I
is.
don't
That's why
think,
I have to ask.
you know, if I'm okay planning a women's event with other women who want to do women things, then why can't men plan men events with
I
other
think more
men?
dudes would be like, who wants to go to
Yeah.
a dick fest, you know?
Most
Right.
of them,
or
I think,
whatever.
would want it to be more co-ed, just to have like the company there.
Yeah, let us
But I
do
think
dick.
it wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe they should get together and talk about how was your family stigmas on you smoking weed, or
Or
you
how
know, they
can
can
we
do the
elevate
same
each
type of
other's
thing, and
brand?
maybe they
Yes.
would feel like it's a more open space. They should write letters to themselves, but maybe in a different way. Maybe there's something else they could do that's more of a bonding experience. We sat around and drank tea. Maybe they want to do like make a hemp beer, you know,
That
like, and
would
have a
be
whole
so
class on
dope.
making a hemp beer together.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think there should be any limits. I don't think we should get to say this is okay and that's not. You know, that's just me though.
Yeah. No, I have to ask. Ooh, I like your O's.
There's the rings.
Thank you.
She won a
Yeah.
contest like it was like a year and a half ago.
Oh, really?
It was an event that we went to. I did photography for, and she won the O blowing contest because nobody did that shit.
I love that.
And it
Yeah, I
was
like blowing
really,
O's
really
and then
easy.
blowing the O's in them. I call it my little Uzi gun. Have you done that?
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
just not like
It's
graceful
so
to
I
look
do it all
at.
day.
I think I actually ended up blowing O's
Yeah.
at that
Good job.
photo
And
shoot last week.
exercise.
You make it
I
look
was gonna
graceful.
show you the photo.
Like,
Yes,
yeah.
I was
Your
like,
mouth
it's good
looks
jaw
like-
exercise, right? 'Cause
It's not flattering when I was trying to do it.
That's
The
how I
pictures did not
feel.
come out
That's
well.
how I
yodel.
feel, Megan. That's how I feel. I'm like, that doesn't.
I look like I'm
right.
making a very awkward face. I'll show you the O that came out of it, but my face is like it's
Same.
not flattering.
even
I
my
will
neck
not post those photos.
Yeah,
It's
it was
too
like-
neck and face-ish. It's
My-
a horrible angle
My
for
husband
me.
says it's the demons being released
Oh my
from the
God.
prison.
No, I do vibe with women who do consume heavily. I will say that, and it's probably because that's the same lifestyle that I live. I'll have a couple girls come over, just like on a random Friday, and our table is like different kind of strains. We're just sharing strains, different kind of rosin and hash, and like we have our pieces out on the table, and it's like an hour coffee sesh, and then we're both like, we got to go get the kids. That's kind of like the life, the vibe that I work with right now. Then I go to events where they're more C-suite, and I get to interact with women who are more on the corporate side, who don't have the same lifestyle, who don't consume like we do, as heavy as we do, or maybe they're just like once in a while, like they will take a gummy type of person. So I do see the different type of women in our industry. Are you guys noticing the difference in like how people consume, especially
yeah.
women?
I've always seen the vast variety.
Yes.
People who want like no infusion in their food, and they might can just consume, just want to smoke it, and they just don't want to try edible versions of things. People who just vape, people who can smoke as heavy as I do.
Yeah, and I was more aligned with heavier smokers as well, but back then I was like, well, if you don't smoke, we have nothing in common. But that was a big, big no-no. I've learned along the way because, it's like that's that bonding thing that me and my like 6 best friends in my neighborhood would do. We'd huddle in the bathroom park and we'd have our little honey bear bong and we'd laugh and laugh for hours, and just the best little missions to go get the herb and having to find it and doing the whole it took a long time. It wasn't like we had to order it and it was delivered.
Right.
So doing those fun core memories, and like, I don't know, it's always been just such an important part of our friendships, and not that it needed to be, but it just was.
We've had a bunch of people on the show now that didn't smoke at all.
Yeah, and it's perfectly fine now. I mean, I think it's, as I'm growing up. And,
What do you have going on over there?
Yeah.
I got
I'm
some
like, change
hats,
topic. I'm getting emotional.
Oh, okay.
Black, the Red Velvet Dozy Doze #5, and our lovely Focus.
Oh.
Have you guys
Oh,
had the chance to
lovely.
meet?
I have the Dab X.
Oh yeah, you guys met.
That rosin tech, I just picked some up yesterday. Their stuff is great.
Oh yeah, their hash. You guys just had their hash roll recently.
Yeah. I picked up,
I saw that clip. That was funny.
yeah, that was really good. And they gave me, we saw them at an event and they gave me one of the
Oh,
sabers
yeah.
and like a disposable. They gave us
Nice.
some concentrates to take home. So now theirs is like my go-to rosin.
Right?
And I just picked some up yesterday. It's the like GMO. It's one of
Mm.
their GMO mixes.
Is it from Cam?
And I'm like, that's all I
Was it
need
their
to know.
cross from Cam?
What was it?
Was it their cross with Cam?
No, I've had that one though.
Oh my God.
No,
I just
but I've
picked up
had that
some
one.
Cam. They have this strain. It's called Bubba's Girl, and it's pre 98 Bubba Kush crossed with Girl Scout cookies. It is
Ooh.
fucking fire. Right
Ooh, okay.
now, I'm smoking some
Let's
shit
grab that
that
one.
is super fire from Coastal Suns, Fatso. I'm a huge GMO fan. But GMO cookies crossed with,
GMO's my favorite
That's her
strain.
too, yeah.
Like my favorite
I
strain.
feel like girls that like
I think, what am I
that
smoking right
gassy
now?
hit, that Sharpie fucking
Yeah.
sticky, pissy smell.
This one's a
Um,
papaya sundae. I think papaya is my one of my favorites in like not in flour but in rosin because it's a really good producer when it comes to solventless. That's actually like a great strain and it always like holds that super fruity flavor. So I
mm,
like that one a lot.
I really have learned to love hash, like just a different appreciation in the terpene profiles that we get from it.
Oh, 100%.
And like learning, like even not even knowing that particular brands need to look for particular type of strains because it only produces particular amount that they can actually use
Yep,
for
I
this.
made that mistake. I lost 10 pounds. I lost 10 pounds trying to process it. The flour was absolutely phenomenal. It just wasn't a rosin producer. It was my mistake choosing that strain. Now I know not to use that strain anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
really, really bummed out about that. But those are when I started seeing like which strains would produce a lot and trying to
Yeah.
put a focus on if you're really doing it for a solventless, then grow the strains that produce solventless, really high yielding.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I watched a YouTube video where they took like two different strains and it was their way to show the comparison of like how much one
Yeah.
can produce versus one. Do you have like a preference? Like since you probably know how to press like on the paddle and the washer, there's always a debate. Like people prefer the washers or oh, we don't want to use the washer, we're gonna use the paddle and hand paddle it.
Um, Honestly, I think it depends on the person doing it because I've seen both techniques come out very, very well.
Yeah.
Um, but people just have like slightly different methods that they do things. And I've seen such a huge difference in that. So it's really honestly, it's the people that I go to have doing anything that, having them process anything. I'll have them do a run and I see how it looks and how it tastes and how much care they put into it. All of that matters. I mean, but it starts down at the plant itself and making sure that you are preserving it the right way all the way through the process. Because a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They don't realize how important that is. The fresh frozen portion and just making sure that you're really taking care of the plant the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've learned a lot being in a lab environment and seeing, the BHO process and seeing the types of things that are put in and seeing the types of
Fascinating.
product that they can
Yes.
use and still come out with this like golden, beautiful color. I'm like,
Yeah.
that was like garbage trim that you used, and you came out with this gorgeous stuff that you guys are going to now sell as like diamonds, and it's not even diamond quality. So I was just very shocked by that. I feel like rosin can't really hide. If there's imperfections, it's not going to have the right color and it's not going to look right. It's not going to be processed right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some rosin that, at one point was just a lot darker. Good brand on flour, like I was fond of. I'm not gonna plug them, but good brand on
Yeah.
flour. And then the bud tender was like, "Oh, they just started doing rosin. You want to check it out?" So I was like, "All right, I'll check it out." But like even just looking at it compared to like, something like Rosin Tech or Papa Select, substantially different. I mean, when we're looking at this is like
Yeah.
creamy and white and like thick and like almost like that Laffy Taffy versus like it was like already browning. Like I don't know how to explain it. It had like a plant
Yeah.
smell, almost
No, I've gotten
browning.
that. I've bought like three different brands
Yeah.
before and I open them and I'm like, bomb, bomb. I'm not really sure what's going on in here. And like I've
Sharing is
gotten to the
caring.
point with rosin, I can tell if it's sun grown. I
Yeah.
can tell the difference between indoor and sun grown 100%.
Yep.
And I can tell if they're just not giving a fuck and kind of just like pushing whatever through,
Right.
or if it's small batch and curated. You can tell the difference in it.
Definitely.
There's a few brands that have really like blown me away. I actually was like,
Plug 'em
I got to try
in.
more of them because I just tried one, but Farmer and the Felon, I
Oh,
tried
shout
one
out
of their
to
rosins and
Justin
I
and
really liked
Bobby.
it.
Which one was it? Pave?
Oh God, I got to remember what the strain was. It was, I hadn't had the strain before. I'm gonna have to look because I think
Honey
I saved a
buns?
picture of it. But it was, I picked up a gram of it just to
It's a
try because it
veggie.
looked visually appealing
Yeah.
and it was phenomenal. I know that we do carry Farmer and Felon at the Higher Path as well, and I'm gonna try to get the rosin on the shelf because I don't know if we carry their rosin there yet. But after
Justin,
trying
I'm
it,
gonna work on it.
I really liked it.
Justin Capri,
Hit me up.
Bobby. We will make sure you hear that. Farmer and the Felon, shout out to them. They are amazing guys. They've supported some of my events. And I've just gotten to know the little fam through Emerald Cup. And so they're great guys. They're a great group of people.
That's awesome.
Team does really good with
And that was not pre-planned.
right?
I did not know that. That was literally just a preference just recently. I've tried a lot of brands and that one stuck out.
It's
Let's
the way
see.
it works. Are you going to MJ
organic
Con
shit.
too?
MJ BizCon. I'm not going for the actual conference, but I'm going to the National Blunt Brunch for the women's event. So they have over 300.
That's what I wanted to go out there for all of that. I'll be there next year. This year with creating the new December schedule of events, I have a lot of new stuff that's happening in this next like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't want to disappear for that. You know, it has called my name. I love going out there. I will definitely miss it, but I do plan to be there next year because I feel like things are going to be a lot more locked in with our events. So for now, I'll be boots on the ground down here.
Yeah, no, that a lot of things are still popping on here. There, somebody sent me a hash holiday toy drive. I think Puffco's hosting that one. Several different
I saw that.
toy drives going on. So SoCal's always popping. I mean, LA's always popping. It doesn't matter what the movie is or what's going on in politics. It doesn't fucking matter. We're still
We'll
doing
be having paint night this coming week.
Ooh,
That's right.
You know, women love that. I've done one where it was like body paint, like an glow in the dark one, and that got like the most response. Like they really liked having a project and then still being able to mingle. Because like I said, you can only like walk around so many times. So when you have like an experience and when you're really thinking about experiencing, and like you said, you gave them a dinner, you gave them a fire show, now they have paint class. Like women are going to constantly remember you. Like when I have like, because if we're moms, to be completely real, we only have so many days where we can actually get out. Obviously for me, that's different than for you guys with the older kids. But for me, realistically, it's really hard for me to get out. But if I know like, hey, Megan and Amber have these things that go on once a month and they have different events, I could like at least like calendar that in and know I can go. So that's what I like about the women events. They definitely plan their shit out and give most of us enough time to be like,
far in advance.
Find your babysitter, get your ass down here. We're going to smoke weed, paint, we're going to do whatever, but have fun.
It's funny, like we have like I have the daily events at the green room, but for women's events or bigger events, we start planning. Like I told Amber, we're looking at dates for towards the beginning of 2024 to see what we're going to do next.
It's already 2024.
I know. You can't say it's 2023 anymore.
It's 2024. Shut the door.
Yeah, no, I think most businesses are on board with looking at already 2024, particularly marketing budget. They're already looking at like Q1, what can happen. So I'm excited for my experience. It's the first time I'm going to be in Vegas at a cannabis event. Obviously, I've been to Vegas many fucking times. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good time to be around other moms and people in the industry that I have either interviewed on the podcast or worked with in the industry and haven't met. So that's my big thing. Like I love to meet people in person after like getting to know them virtually. It's just
going to be, it's supposed to, I see a lot of really cool people going. You're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, because you feel
Yeah.
like you already get to know them online,
Right.
and it's just like, oh my gosh,
I want to hug
it's
you.
really you. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're really here,
We
and
could really pass
yeah,
the
it's
blunt,
like,
hopefully.
Yeah.
yeah. I know I don't get to fangirl like all the time, and then I just like I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's
The best part
oh my
is when they're as
gosh,
genuine as they are on social media or
right,
online.
right,
Yeah.
When that doesn't
yeah, like
match, that really turns me off, completely honest. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, okay. Well, moving on. Next, like just moving on.
yeah, and
Yeah.
It's happened.
I've experienced that too. I'm like, maybe they're just having a bad day. I'll just let it, and then hopefully
Try
next time
again.
I see them, it's a
Yeah.
little bit
You've
better.
had it,
Yeah.
and there has been times I've said that you've had bad experiences with people, and then we've seen them for some reason in the future, and you've had a really positive experience with
Yeah.
them, and then I've seen it be the opposite.
Yeah. And
Um,
I'm pretty much like, and if they don't like me, I really don't care. I'm still going to be happy and talk whatever. I want to
I
know you
think that's
more,
what I love about
motherfucker. Yeah.
you the most. I think you get to an age, especially as moms, like we really don't have
Yeah.
time for bullshit for the most part. I mean, we have our own kids' bullshit and our own life's bullshit, but people, I got close. I'm getting closer to 40 and, giving a fuck about what people say, like, especially doing podcasts. A lot of times there's imposter syndrome. There's shit that you may see that someone's like way elevated in a different level or has, the capacity or capital to actually fund a podcast studio. I don't have all that shit. And honestly, I don't care because
yeah.
Right.
I'm happy doing what I do and it's still reaching the people that I want to reach. And so at the end of the day, I think,
Yeah.
as long as it feels organic to our hearts and like our being and your family's behind you, I think we thrive as women, like no matter what. So
Yeah.
I
I
love that
agree.
you don't give a fuck.
We're
Uh,
powerful. That's all. That's all I know.
I
I don't
think
know.
we'll
We
be
all
fine.
have that. I think once we all get together and can find that fire, because what we often love in other people is usually what we have in ourselves. Like I always say, I'm like, if you like this, there's a reason because that person just makes you feel a certain way. So embody that and don't be like intimidated. Let them know, like, let them know that because it's important because maybe that person's having a really shitty day and fighting their way through that same day. You don't know anymore. Like people are just like, it's a weird environment lately, and that's why I kind of stay
Sure.
home. It's a lot of energy for me personally. I know I'm in abundance, but then I have to really come back and reserve it because
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, no more events. Don't let's not do anything, because
Yeah.
I have to, we have to find ourselves again and like rebalance. It's almost like cocooning,
Yeah.
in a way for me. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
we all have our own little ways to do that, right?
Yes, I think as long as we are aware of our bodies, ourselves, and our intention, like I
Yeah.
think if we have pure intentions, you should not care what people think. Because if it didn't resonate
Yeah.
with somebody,
No.
then it wasn't for you. Then it was for somebody else. But at the end
Right.
of the day, it really does come
Or not
to,
at that time, at a later, like at a later time, you'll be like,
yeah,
oh, that's what that meant. Okay. Like,
right, right,
when we get older, we'll understand, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't meant for me right now,
yeah,
but maybe it might be later. So I have to try to really be open. I'm pretty optimistic or
Yeah. Very optimistic.
open-minded when I'm like, okay, well, what about this? Like, let's look at it from this perspective, look at it this perspective,
mm,
and try to find that balance even in anything. We have to just constantly like look at the other person's too, and like maybe
positive,
they're going through some shit. Who knows?
right,
So,
right. You
yeah,
don't know what somebody's going through for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely.
yeah,
Well,
for sure.
I love
We're all
that.
fucking crazy. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's just, how we control our little monsters. It's no big deal. Sometimes if we know how to use those bad monsters for fuel, then we can navigate through life a little
Yes.
bit better. But we all have had bad
You
days.
can't have peace without chaos because if we didn't have the chaos, we wouldn't have to find the peace,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And I
So
live for peace nowadays.
it's just a beautiful thing. Oh,
Peace,
girl,
good
yes. I'm like, you
energy.
drama, stay away from me.
Please.
Please, yeah.
Yes,
Be
please.
nice, be nice, please.
100%. Yeah. If you got good weed, come on by.
Yes,
Just
yes.
kidding. All right, girls.
Exactly.
Only good vibes.
Yes, for sure. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing a little bit about your experience with weed, cannabis, however else you want to call it, herb, doja, as moms, as women in the industry,
Three knots, 420.
educators. Um, But we got 7 grams. It's a little rapid fire that I like to do at the end. So usually I only have one person. So we'll just like take a turn, and whoever starts first can start first every time. Does that work for you guys?
You start first.
Ping pong.
Go ahead. I leave some of them. If you listen to the ends of some of our episodes, there's some funny shit on there that she says at the end.
I've seen a lot. I
She talks
actually
about
went through your
penises and all kinds of
whole
stuff.
page from the beginning. I liked those. I actually thought they were really funny, and I want to congratulate you guys. Have grown a lot. You guys have like created
Thank
the
you.
background, your interviews, the way you like. I love seeing people evolve. I think there's nothing more attractive to me in seeing people grow and like really taking harness and like, I'm gonna do this. It may not be perfect at first, but as I'm watching your like as I'm scrolling and getting through your episodes, because I think you're past 40 now, you guys have just substantially
Yeah.
and so you guys should be proud of yourselves as women, as podcasters.
Aw.
It's not
Thank
fucking
you.
easy.
That means a lot.
I for sure.
No, we try really
No.
hard.
Yeah, it's super uncomfortable as shit. Like it's so awkward, and I'm like, I'm very hard on myself anyway. So yeah, I make her
Good.
do all the editing.
Yes, I do all the editing because she doesn't want to look.
Damn.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'll show up and be funny and make it pretty, and then you do the editing.
She does a
send
lot
it
of our
to-
social media stuff though.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We get to be creative in our own way. You know how it is.
No, I feel it. It's a lot of work, but I think, like I said, when we love what we're doing, it doesn't really feel like it. And
Yes,
it just makes
exactly.
things fun. So I'm glad that you guys have that
is.
friendship between each other and partnership.
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
Me too.
All right, you get to answer the
like-
first
Really?
question.
7 grams, indoor or sun-grown flower?
I don't know, indoor.
Megan.
Indoor, but I've seen some. Oh, I guess we're not supposed to both answer. So
That's why I was like,
fuck.
No, most people
They don't
that are
go
in
on forever.
cultivation or who have actually like grown weed will always be like, but
No, there's like, wait a minute, because I've had some
Hard.
super fire sun-grown
Same,
flower.
yeah.
Like that's very hard. Being in cultivation, I've seen it good on both sides.
Yeah,
okay. Well, in that case,
that made me uncomfortably
Megan,
nervous.
if that's the case, rock wool or soil?
Rockwell.
Oh,
Sorry, that's a favorite. I've been growing in it for a while, and I just like
You know
I
how
don't
to
know.
do it.
It's just so streamlined.
Like
It's just like
Yeah, I
nice.
know. I mean, I can't dog it.
We have the little way that the system is set up is really beautiful. But then we have moms that are in soil too. So I do that at home. We use soil at home as well.
Yeah, I grow soil, but I've also done some grow ops back in the days, I should say, and just pure rock wool for bigger quality.
Yeah,
Or
I like it. I
quantity-
like it. I
quantity
like seeing
reasons.
roots come through the bottom of the
Yeah, and
square.
I'm not gonna dog it.
It's so sexy when you guys talk like that.
3 C's. I feel that, right?
Roots
Amber,
turn
it's
me
like
on.
something about like cultivation talk, especially from women. I'm like, yeah, it's my bitch. I love that.
Yes.
Roots.
Yes.
I get horny for roots.
The crazy roots. Have you seen them when the feeder roots come out and they have like the extra hairs at the bottom? Because I like to do clones too. I
It's
like
like-
collecting clones.
It's like super sensual. I don't think people realize
It's like,
that.
but
She's
then you
got
get
her.
to see my like. I have like lots of little other kinds of
Oh my
plants,
gosh,
and
I have some too. That was the one. What's your favorite way to consume flower?
long rips for sure.
Yeah.
You too.
For
Okay.
sure.
Have you ever grown your own flower?
Pack it in, smoke it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What's one thing people don't know about you?
Everybody knows it, but
One thing
I
they're like,
have a sphinx. I have 3 sphinx cats.
Okay.
And if you want to meet one of them, you can just come visit me in the green room.
oh, you bring it.
Oh yeah, he likes to come and hang out. He likes to hang out by the fireplace in his little bed. So
They are pretty. Amber, what's one
Yeah,
thing?
Mr. Grimm.
Oh,
I've competed in the academic pentathlon when I was like in high
Yes.
school.
it was a long time ago, but it's
Yeah.
a it's
No one
a it's
would
a
have known
fact.
that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good have. Okay, if you
It
could
was
give
either-
one book to the world, which book would it be? That like wasn't impactful to you.
And
Ready Player One. I love that book. I'm sorry, it's just so good.
It's a great.
It made me cry.
Ready Player One.
Yeah, I don't know. It made me cry.
I have like a lot of books. I
Some people
really
are probably like, isn't that the game about like virtual gaming? And I'm like, yeah, but it made me cry. It's got a lot of nostalgia in it from the 90s.
Yes.
nothing like I would say like an herbal apothecary.
Okay.
I mean, I have a bunch over there. I can't.
Like
get
I'd say
the
Selma Blair's
specific-
Mean Baby because her book is good. It teaches people that MS, is an invisible disease.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
I mean, yeah,
I just started reading like past
no,
2
yeah.
and then just this year I'm like knocking out 2 books a month, and now I'm like obsessed with the idea of reading. But it's all like personal development books,
Yes.
like spiritual books, like Jay Shetty type of spiritual books, and I
I'm
love
gonna read
it.
again.
Part of
I'm
my
waiting for
I know.
glasses.
I have short-term attention. So
oh
to get through a book, like I'll just like start reading and then put it down and then start reading another one and
I
then
have
watch
to be
documentary
like
on it
into
and
it.
then
So like it's
yeah.
gotta be like either about weed
Yeah.
or something that's gonna help me like better myself. If you could take only one of these oral products, which oral product would it be? A tincture, a gummy, or a beverage? And all of them are infused with cannabis.
Beverage.
Tincture.
Amber.
I like
tincture,
all,
beverage.
but I like beverages a lot.
Okay. Yeah, they're my
Yeah,
new
I drink a lot of cannabis
especially
beverages.
Any favorite ones, Megan?
I liked Pabst a lot,
Okay.
but I really like the stronger ones. The St. Ides are good. Pamos has a really good
Mm.
product line as well. Actually, I just tried Rocket Dog. We don't actually sell it at the shop, but I gave a rave review on their cherry lime. I really liked it.
Ooh,
Someone
cherry
actually
lime
thought
sounds
it was
good.
like an energy drink, and I was like, no, it's a cannabis drink. It was really good though.
Okay.
Rocket Dog, thank you.
We just
I
have
like nowadays they have a really good cannabis infused drink. It's really good. I just add it to whatever I'm
Oh,
drinking.
teas,
Yeah.
tea makes
Oh
her
yes.
teas are really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Anything tea or coffee. I like the coffee that
Highest
that's
Ground
sponsored us.
was really
Yeah,
good.
Highest Ground coffee is really
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah,
Ooh.
anything. I'm not a big edible fan. That would be like my last choice.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
But yeah,
Just 'cause
tinctures for sure I like.
most people I bring on are more dabbing or flower, like in heavy consumer of the cannabis flower. But there's some people now that
Yes.
are coming out with the tinctures and the gummies for the people who are kind of curious, or they want to just touch that market of those type of people that consume that.
Yeah,
So I think for me,
the drinks are good for social events.
exactly. Yeah, I think a lot of the moms who don't smoke, they're all about those drinks. Like it still gives them that whole like cocktail
Yeah,
idea. So it like
I have a
feels
lot of friends
great.
that just take edibles. They
Yeah.
don't smoke at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had
Same.
like
It's
somebody
nice.
from like a
It's a
financial
nice euphoric.
background, same thing, like all CBD gummies and stuff like that. So it's interesting to bring it on, and I asked so that we can show the diversity of people like us women who like to consume heavily hash, flowers, smoke out of bongs versus women who prefer just a tincture or a beverage or something like that. Last one, list 3 ways to contribute that you contribute to your personal development.
Like I don't know,
Like
doing this
what do
right
you
here.
do to enhance
Uncomfortableness.
yourself from health, like fitness, mental, and
Yeah,
spirit?
definitely dancing. Yeah, definitely dancing in the morning. I think that releases a lot of my like trauma and being able to capture it now versus like when I was 9 or 10 performing probably like your daughter does in the mirror. And being able to watch myself back and be like, you go girl, like I'm proud of you. Look how hard you work. And then just getting in front of like this right here, it's like very hard for me to do, so stuff I would normally say no to,
Yeah.
and doing that. So saying yes a little bit more, just doing things for me and that don't stress me out or it makes me feel good. If it doesn't make me feel good or make me money right now, then I'm honestly not interested in doing it.
Yeah.
And I can't feel bad about saying no to that either because my time is valuable. And I think there needs to be those boundaries in life, and your friends have to understand. If they don't, then they're not really your friends, and we all have to respect that with each other's lives. So
Yeah, I love those. Miss Megan?
Doing this podcast that we do together, that I feel like is something that we both get to put our own personal like love and passion into in different ways. So that is very good for my soul. It's kept me going through like really shitty times as well. My cats. And
she likes to pet her pussy.
I like to pet my pussy. Love my cats. And I have a focus on skincare. It's the one thing I do for myself. If I don't have the time or the money to go get my hair done or do my nails or anything else, I try to take care of my skin, especially my face, as much as I can. So that's like the one thing I do for myself, I guess, is skincare. I don't
Yeah.
really wear makeup. I'm barely wearing anything today, but Yeah.
Means we gotta wrap it
Yeah,
up.
because after you work
Sorry,
out
kiddo.
and stuff, for sure, it's just like it's hard to like, my skin's really not used to that because I really started working out like the last few years. So my body's like bing, and then hormones are like bing, and then I'm like, fuck, oh well, whatever, I'll just go with it,
Yeah.
But it is the
Sweating's
key
good
is
for
to
us.
just keep washing and yeah.
Sweating's
Oh my
good.
gosh, yeah. After
But
my
as I get
sauna.
older, like people are like, how do you get rid of this and how do you get rid of that? I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna eat healthy, drink a lot of water, smoke my weed,
Yeah.
and life's
Water's healthy.
you know
I keep trying to remind myself and bring
sprinkles
it
to
with
be
me.
as it is. I know.
Blow O's and dance in the morning.
I love the dancing. I
For sure.
love.
Oh, you got a
fucking
big jug of water. I got my higher
It
power water
allows
bottle.
me, yeah, only because I could try to consume at least a gallon a day. So this will remind me, like, if I don't have this done by like 11 o'clock, so this is my second one, then I'm already off track. And that's just for my
Oh
own
man, you guys are good.
That's way
personal
more water than I'm consuming right now. I definitely need to do better.
feel. Yeah, that just comes from me trying to get more water in. Otherwise, I mean, I don't drink soda or any of the other shit anyways. So but yeah, try to keep it healthy, smoke
Yeah,
my weed,
water's
try to
good
keep
for
everything
you.
organic is my deal, organic
Yes,
relationships, organic weed as much as possible. We're in SoCal, so it is what it is. But organic people like you guys. So I appreciate you guys coming on. I know you guys probably got to get back to your family. Any last words? Where can we follow you guys? Where can we support you guys and plug in any events that you guys have coming up?
Let's see. So you can follow us at Cannabis Unearthed on YouTube and on Instagram and on TikTok. We've got all of them.
We're the number 2 in cannabis podcasts
yeah,
right now. So that was really cool to be listed as, which is shout out,
Hey.
Yeah, so that was
yeah.
really, really cool to be featured on that.
Spotify.
Any events, if you are following our Instagram, you can find Megan's Dab Corner and A Mom's Perspective in our bio. And in my bio, you can find all of the events that I currently have going on and anything that Amber and I will probably be featured there as well. And that's going to be at the Green Room, and that's listed in my bio. There's going to be a ton of December events. If you're interested in burlesque or any other kind of fun stuff, please check out the calendar. We'll have a blood drive because Amber and I were nice enough to drive out, or lucky enough to drive out and be able to hang out with Renee and go to the blood drive that she put on. And that introduction led to one that I'm going to be scheduling over here at the dispensary. So, yeah, a lot of really fun stuff going on. Okay. I think you got me hooked up going on the what is it? Are you smarter than a bud tender? I think that's coming here tomorrow or something.
That's tomorrow.
Right?
Okay, yes.
So I started watching little clips and you made me nervous now. Yeah, so I'll be on there.
I'll be studying for my insurance license again. So I have to study for that.
Well, you got some dabs, you got some weed.
Good stuff.
Some tea and
yes.
Will you be there tomorrow as well?
No, I am preparing to leave my little family for the blunt brunch. So let's grab like one trip for me. And that's it. But John, shout out to John at Cannabis Capital. They do a great job at hosting their different events there. And I love that it's always some sort of educational.
Yeah, super excited to be a part of one of their events. Usually I'm the host, so it's nice to be something different.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We got to watch it. We'll plug it and make sure that all those are listed in the description for the links so that you guys can find and support Amber and Megan. Thank you guys again for coming out. That's a wrap for us today. Any last words as we go out?
Be amazing.
And no dusty, crusty vibes.
I love that.
We're very insightful. It's like it's like Sunday afternoon.
It is. I forget about that. Totally forgot.
Thank you so much for having us on. We appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good night and enjoy your holiday.
You too.
Thank you.